Welcome back to another episode of the 1% Insight podcast, your podcast for all things B2B tech content marketing. In today's episode, we're going to be looking at 3 ways to build trust through content in an AI-driven world. Now, to set the context, this isn't an episode to say don't ever use AI. It's not that at all. AI is a fantastic enabler to increase productivity, both operationally and through some of your content processes. This episode is really focused on how you can utilize AI, but also utilize real stories, real people, real conversations to combine both to create a really powerful piece of content that earns trust in 2026 and beyond. So if you're like me, you'll probably go onto LinkedIn or any other social media platforms right now and see a lot of content. There is never been more content in the world, but just because there's more quantity doesn't mean there's more quality. And that's really what we want to get into today. So if we're looking at the purpose of content marketing in a B2B technology environment, the purpose of it, when you sum it down, is that we want to connect with prospects, with our customers, and deliver real value and insights to them so that it's helping them make a decision that your company is the most knowledgeable, that they are trusting you more than they are trusting your competitors, and that they're saying, this is the company that can solve my problem better than anybody else, and this is the person that I want to go with. And content marketing does play a role in how they form opinions and make decisions. Trust is huge when it comes to buying committees making decisions. It could be a big investment for them if their software is tens of thousands of euro or dollar or pound every year in a contract. They're going to want to make the right decision. Same goes for if they're investing in technology that is in the millions and it's going to be a significant investment for them. They need to be as sure as they can be that they're making the right decision. You can help navigate some of these challenges through your content, and that's why it's really important that you put your best foot forward and utilize real people, real content, and then also you can utilize AI in the background to help you speed up efficiency and operations, etc., and utilize all the fantastic capabilities that it has. But it's often very hard to match real people having real conversations, sharing new insights. If you put yourself in the position of the prospect or what you like to consume, do you prefer to read an AI generated text-based piece of content with no human intervention? Or would you prefer to see possibly a video of 2 people that you know or that you follow online having a conversation, kind of working through an idea or giving new insights and sharing that in a different format? Some people might say the former, but chances are if your prospects are looking at content, they're going to need a bit more than just text-based or AI images to essentially, build that trust. They're going to need real people at the other end of the screen that is going to help them navigate their buying journey. There are just certain things that technology can't replicate and you can't fake it. And that is real people having real conversations and sharing real insights. And that is what we're going to chat about in today's episode on the 1% Insight. We spoke about this in the last episode of the 1% Insight, where essentially we were speaking about the importance of having a team-led content strategy as well as your company-led one. And this is the first point that we're going back to again in terms of one of the ways that you can earn trust through your content in 2026. Your people are your strongest asset when it comes to this. So essentially, you want to start utilizing people, whether that be your team members, whether that be your customers, whether that be thought leaders that you want to connect with that have influence in your industry. You want to be getting real people onto, for example, the medium of a podcast or an event, etc. And you want to be capturing those insights when people are having them. So that's why we find it really useful for our clients when we're developing podcasts, is to essentially bring all those people together in a podcast format, and it works exceptionally well for capturing those insights, hosting honest, discussions. People can share their expertise. People have experiences that are hard to replicate. They have stories. They have different instances where they encountered a problem and they solved it, and they can share that, and that can help someone within your audience. That is very difficult to replicate from an AI point of view. And that is where people can become a real asset. And just because it's easier to, give a prompt and get a response back, essentially it's just the aggregate of, everybody's thoughts on the internet, it doesn't add something new to it. It has to basically be brought on from other people's insights, and it kind of accumulates it, and it gives back a kind of a generic response. So that's where I'm really focused on making sure that people share their own insights. Going on camera obviously isn't easy, but we try to do it to basically try and connect with your audience, try and put a person to the brand to create that trust, create that channel with them where you're providing value and insight to them. So step number one is get people, whether that be your team, whether that be your customers, which is another fantastic use case that we can kind of run into. That is, obviously when you're doing your case study videos and testimonials, have a professional setup. But if your customers are open to chat through their experience in a podcast format, that'd be super as well. Those are really important insights that you need to kind of share and get out there with people. That is step one on how you can start earning more trust to your content, is just actually having people on it. Even if you're at events, that can be a quick win as well. That's really high performing content where you just have pictures of your team. It doesn't always have to be video based content. It can be photo based content, and just getting people and a face or faces to the brand is really important to create that trust. Step number two is to share unique insights and stories. As we mentioned, everybody has different career paths, different experiences, different stories that can really benefit by sharing with your audience. So if you have a team together that are willing to kind of share content, or whether it be your customers or it's a thought leader that you're bringing on to chat about different elements that they're seeing in the industry right now, the purpose of getting people to actually share their unique insights and stories is to share something that somebody maybe hasn't heard before. So an anecdote or a story that will benefit your ICP is a really powerful piece of content that can earn trust. You're providing them something that provokes a kind of a new idea within them. They start thinking about something differently. They might be facing a challenge right now and they hear that piece of content, they see it or they read it, and they're like, that's a similar challenge that I'm facing. And then you're helping them, you're guiding them through it and helping them solve it. So it's a really powerful piece of content, and that's really important when it comes from real people, and there's a face behind it, and we keep kind of repeating that point, but it is really important to drive home that that is a key area of how you can drive trust when there's so much content out there right now, and there's so much stuff that sometimes is hard to decipher whether it's real or whether it's not real. You can prove and you can showcase real content when there's actually people having conversations. It doesn't have to be overly edited or loads of motion graphics or anything. Just keep it simple. Just keep it, doesn't have to be highly edited. Just get it out there, have conversations, share insights, share stories. And that's part two, is share unique insights and stories from the people that you have speaking to you, whether that be through your podcast or through events like we mentioned. It's really important just to capture those insights, and it can really help your prospect at the other end of the device. And for example, like if we're just speaking about your internal team, they'll have different insights that will, really help your audience and really provide some fantastic content. So for example, like the sales teams might be really well versed in obviously dealing with objections on a day-to-day basis. They know exactly, they're speaking to the customers, they're speaking to the prospects, they're knowing exactly what problems they're facing, and basically you can kind of create content out of that, which is really good insight of what's happening in the here and the now. The operations team might know a lot about a specific feature that's being built right now that you can kind of chat about, and why that was created and how it's being created, and with all the problems that your ICP are facing in mind. And that can be a really super piece of content as well. That gives context to both technology that maybe you're developing, without being overly sales focused on it. But it's important, I guess, to give that context behind the technology also about what you're building and how you're building it and the people who are building it, to share that story, which will be really impactful. Then, for example, your founder or co-founders might have some really interesting insights on where the industry is headed, and they'll be able to give context of why they started the company, what problems they saw back then, and where they see the future going, and how they want to position the company to help your audience thrive in the future. And then step three would be start having more conversations with your customers and industry thought leaders. These are two really important groups that you can utilize in your content to create more trust in 2026. Essentially, starting off with your customers, that's a no-brainer. Case studies are some of the most impactful piece of content out there right now. I did a poll on LinkedIn today, actually, and results coming back, it was like, what was the most impactful piece of content for B2B tech marketing teams? And the majority, 95% and over, are saying customer case studies. If you've already created a case study with this customer, use this as an opportunity to kind of speak with them again, give them a platform, as well as actually just getting their insights, which is fantastic because they're actually experiencing some of the problems that we want to help solve right now. So they'll be really well versed in how they can kind of, how they overcame certain challenges. They can mention how they overcame certain challenges through your help. And also they can share kind of insights of where they see the future going for the industry and what they are kind of looking at right now. This has multiple benefits. One benefit would be the fact that you're getting insights from someone that is outside of the company, which is a really interesting dynamic. And the second part of that is that your customer is actually getting really great value as well, because you're getting this content, but you're sharing with them. They're having content. We know how difficult it is to create content. So their marketing team, they're probably thanking you because this is fantastic. They got someone from their team speaking about their company, speaking about what they're working on right now, recent news, recent insights. They get the positive impact of that content and the word of mouth and the awareness from it. So you're also kind of promoting your customers as a result, which is always a great move. And a lot of people do appreciate it, which can, improve customer satisfaction, even lifetime value, where they're not just viewing you as a software or a cost, they're viewing you more as a partner and someone that supports their growth as well as your own. So that's a really important part to look at as well. And then the industry thought leaders, if you're running a podcast and you record online, you have the ability to record with anybody in the world. So every industry and niche will have different industry leaders who, have been in the space a long time. They create fantastic content on it. Getting them to speak with your company on the medium of a podcast, for example, and share their insights of what they're seeing happening right now, where they predict the future is going with it, that can be a super valuable piece of content for your target audience group, because they also respect this person and you're providing them with the content and you're asking the right questions that are relevant to them in this day and age. And that can be another significant part of building trust through your content in 2026. So to summarize, AI is a fantastic tool and it's a really exciting technology. It is changing how we all work. It is changing workflows, systems, processes, even how people are developing technology these days. And, the opportunities are endless with it. There are certain things that humans do fantastically well, and that is share stories, it's tell content, and that is how you're going to build trust for your B2B technology brand in 2026 and beyond. In a world of increasing technology and automation, the stuff that can't be automated and the stuff that is a bit more difficult to do. It's difficult to get on camera. It's difficult to prep content. It's difficult to have conversations and record it and edit it. All those different elements that are difficult to scale will actually stand to you as a moat and as a unique, part to your company and differentiate you, which is what we want to do in your efforts when there's loads maybe in your space in competitors. We want to stand out. We want to earn trust and we want to connect with your audience, and putting real people having real conversations and sharing their unique insights and thoughts can be a great way of doing that. And that is just one of the many benefits of content marketing for B2B tech marketing teams. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the 1% Insight. Make sure you follow us on wherever you get your podcasts, whether that be Spotify, Apple, or if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to subscribe to catch the latest insights.